We are recording.
There's a delay.
Oh, I'm talking, and then that. Oh yeah. So don't watch the screen right now. We are going to go ahead and get started, and I am recording it for some people that are missing tonight's presentation, and they wanted to watch the recording so they can get all their hours. So since we're kind of talking about hours, tonight when we're finished, I will have certificates of completion for those of you that have taken all 5 classes. You'll get certificates of completion. The ones that have missed 1 or 2 classes or more, you will get what's called a certificate of participation. And that just gives you however many hours that you've already taken. If you're good with that, I'm good with that. It's up to you if you wanted to get the whole training, there are other options that you can do. So I am doing a class in Lamar's. I hate being on the recording, so I stutter a lot, and I apologize for that. I'm teaching a class in Lamar's PBIS, so it's going to be 5 nights just like this. And so you can look at if you're interested in that, I can let you know. Just send me an email and say, hey, I want to take the training. I missed our 3rd night. What night in Lamar's are you doing the 3rd night? So I can let you do that. I am teaching, if you missed the 4th night, which was last week. Did anybody miss last week's? So then I don't even need to talk about it. Okay. For those of you on the recording, if I am doing tonight's training, I'm also doing that in Akron on December 20th, which is a Thursday. And if you come in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, you can pick up what we're doing tonight. So those are a couple of options. Any questions on that? So when you signed in tonight, some of you had a check mark by your name, and it had like a number after your name. That's how many hours, a certificate of participation that you'll get. Every night is worth 3 hours. So if you miss 1 night, yours has a number 12 after it. So just let me know if you're okay. Let me know if you want to make it up. That would be the best. If you're okay, you don't have to let me know with anything. Is that okay? All right. So now I am going to share my screen. I think. I don't know why that's doing that. I must have invited myself twice. Okay. So this little picture is going to be up top the whole time, and it's going to be annoying. Don't look at the picture because it will be delayed. So last time we met, you saw, I'm going to turn it so it's going to show you. Last time we met, we did that article review. That was the last thing we did, right? We all got into our groups? Okay. Wow. I love it when stuff works and doesn't work. Okay. So one of the things we want to talk about with feelings, one of the key concepts, feelings change. And remember when I told you last, probably 2 times ago, 3 times ago, that one of the things I wanted you to understand with feelings is that feelings change. So when we talk to children, we say, I feel whatever versus I am. And this is just something that we want to definitely do. Feelings can change. You can have more than one feeling about something at the same time. You can feel differently than someone else in the same situation. And all feelings are valid. It's what you do with your feelings that really counts, that really matters. So when we learn to identify feelings in other people, these are some of the things we look for. And we practiced that last time too. Remember I showed you those different faces, my body language, my tone of voice. But also you can look at the situation. You can look at situational cues. If you come upon two kids who have all these things knocked over and one is crying, you can pretty well tell what they're feeling, right? So those are the situational cues. Do you guys remember when we talked about empathy? Empathy is that ability to identify and feel with somebody else, feel what they're feeling. It's the foundation for social problem solving. So when we want children to solve social problems, if they don't have that beginning foundation of empathy, it's going to be hard for them to step into somebody else's shoes. It's an ongoing thing, and we don't expect kids to have it by the time they're 4 years old. Sometimes not even 5 years old. It's one of those skills that takes a long time to develop. But developing that sense of empathy is dependent upon children having that good social-emotional, that emotional vocabulary. Remember when we did the activity where I had you write down all these emotional words? And when you had your, that article that talks about emotional literacy, all of that, we definitely want to give children those words, all those emotionally charged words. If a child can't identify his own emotions, it's going to be hard for that child to identify emotions in other people. Please join us and have some pizza. So when we teach empathy, we do it like we're teaching pretty much everything else. We model it, we show what it looks like, and we show what it doesn't look like. So if I was going to model, pretend like somebody is super sad. Just somebody volunteer to be the sad person right now. You're sad? All right. We're going to take this little handy-dandy computer, and you're going to be my sad person. So you be sad. Look how sad she is. She is so sad. And so I'm going to be empathetic, and I'm going to come up to her, and I'm going to say, oh, my face is going to match yours. You look like you feel sad. Can you tell me why?
Because you're making me do this.
I can understand how that would make you feel sad. Maybe even a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Thank you so much. That's being empathetic. You did a great job. I'm going to give her a round of applause for being so brave. And then you model what it doesn't look like, and then you want to go back to what it does look like. So you talk to the kids and say, did you see how when she was sad, my face matched her face? And did you see that I was trying to match my body with her body? So think of some activities that you could do that would start to show that kids have empathy. What would be something you could do? Do you want me to tell you? Everybody stand up and find a partner. Everybody has to have a partner. One of you decide who is going to be partner number one. Partner number one. So partner number one, what you're going to do is you're just going to move your body. Partner number two is the other person. Partner number two has to try to copy their body. Do you need a partner? Come on down. Okay. You don't have to play with the teacher. Okay, so go. Partner number one, start moving your bodies. And partner two has to copy. I'm sorry, yes. I didn't explain. Everybody stop. You are mirroring what the person does. So like one of you, partner number one is the actual person, and partner number two, you're the mirror. So you're trying to copy everything she does. I don't know if I explained that. Okay, go. I am going to walk around so you can see all this. These are all of our friends doing the mirror activity. Now switch. Everybody switch. So partner number 2, you are the person, and partner number 1 is the mirror. And stop. Have a seat. So that's just an activity of how you can get kids to notice each other. But there's other ways to do that. You can draw attention to how others are feeling, not in a funny way, but like in videos or in books. You can ask how the character was feeling or how the character in the video was feeling. You can role play, do role reversals, just do lots of things where children are noticing how others are feeling. Even what I would do when you're reading stories, stop in the middle of the book and say, how do you think the little bear is feeling right now? How do you think this one is feeling right now? And then not just how do you think he's feeling, but how do you know? Look at his face. Look at his posture, and you can use those words. Look at his posture. Those are clues to tell you how people are feeling. And what we know with children who have autism, and especially very young children, but sometimes you have to point those things out. You have to say, look at their body. When their body does this, usually that, and unfortunately we're people because we're not always predictable, but usually that means that they're feeling kind of sad or depressed or lonely. So this is a video that shows it's drawing attention to how others are feeling. And again, I apologize that TV's not working.
It has white and red. It has white and red.
Haley, do you like it when he does that? You need to tell Jaden. You don't like that. Would you like me to help you tell him? Jaden, I'm looking at her face. She doesn't like it when you're doing that. I think she would like you to wait your turn. Or if you want, I will go get you another tray and you can play that game with someone else. What would you like to do?
Sure, now they're watching me eat. So was that a helpful video? You probably do that in your classrooms already, drawing attention to how others feel, but did you see how she supported the child too? Do you want me to help you? So just being there to support. This is something that, I guess this is one of my struggles, that the you're okay part. The situation is a child falls down, is startled or upset, but not physically injured. Typically, we want to just brush it off and say, oh, don't worry, you're okay, you're okay. You're going to give yourself a big kiss. Come on, let's go play. But when we do that, we're denying the child their feelings being validated. We're not letting them truly express their real emotions. And we're not learning to help them deal with their emotions appropriately. So what are your thoughts on that?
What about the children that are looking to you to see, like, oh, am I okay? Like, you know what I mean? When they fall and they like look to you, be like, oh, did I get hurt? Or no, I'm okay. But you know what I mean? Because then you're
setting them up
like,
for their response.
Yeah, it's okay. We just fell down, like, but they're not really hurt, but yet.
So what do you guys think? Do you have a response? And then I'll listen to you, and then I'll share what I would.
You could just give them a question. Like, are you all right?
then that gives them the ability to choose.
So that is one way to do it. Just ask, how do you feel? Are you all right? Another response, and this is maybe what I would do, I would just notice if they fell down. Oh, I see you fell down. If they don't do anything, we're good. If they do, if they're like, I hurt my knee, and say, yes, you did. I can see you hurt your knee. I don't want to give them any too much, but then if they say, oh, it really hurts, then of course I have to validate, but I don't want to lead them into tears if they really don't feel it. Because that's usually what happens. They look to us and they look at our reaction, and if we freak out, they're going to freak out. So they're mirroring us rather than us trying to mirror and validate their feelings. So this one I'm still practicing with. Validating emotions. Encouraging children to express their feelings is the key to fostering emotional health. We just had a discussion today. There was you probably know Sally Hartley and Joyce Vermeer, and I sat down with some Head Start people, some child care resource and referral people, and we were just talking about what we have available in our communities, in our areas. And we noticed through all of our discussion that child mental health is a huge, huge need, an issue right now across our whole state. We're seeing children come in at younger and younger ages with a lot more needs. So if we can help them and just help them learn to be emotionally literate and to really start validating and listening to children and helping them through their emotional situations, hopefully the trajectory will get better instead of worse for those kids. When we discourage feelings by saying you're okay, we're actually invalidating the child. So something to remember, something I have to remember. Too bad I didn't have this when my kids were little. So instead, I don't know how we can get that picture out of there. Instead of invalidating them, we can try to show empathy. So here's some ways to do it. Instead of saying, don't cry, or you're okay, or that's enough, it's all right, nothing happened, brush it off, give it to kids, all right, you're good. We're supposed to be non-judgmental. We label the emotion. We might say, ooh, ouch, that hurt when you bumped into the wall. Looks like it hurt. Offer a strategy or problem solve. Oh, looks like it hurt. Would you like a hug or an ice pack? What might help you feel better? And I'm not being empathetic, am I? I'm supposed to get down and, ooh, that looked like it hurts. Would you like an ice pack or a hug? And I'm supposed to show that in my face. Would you like an ice pack or a hug? And when the child is calm, you can redirect. Hey, let's go play with the blocks. I remember you built something really cool there yesterday. So you validated, you don't hang too long on it, and you move on. That's my thinking. You have a question? No. Oh, okay. I thought you had a really great comment. Why doesn't this turn? Whoop. Okay. So to help young children control their anger and handle disappointment, we're going to do a little practice with ourselves. So on a piece of paper, or if you want to grab a Post-it note on the sign-in table, I want you to write 3 characteristics of yourself when you're angry. So people on this Zoom, that's your job. You have to write 3 characteristics of yourself when you're angry. And you'll have to send them to me, Zoom people.
I know I don't. Where did I hear that?
So who wants to be brave and share at that table over there? What are your 3 characteristics? And I'm going to walk with our Zoom friends so they just don't have to look at me. Who is the person that wants to share?
Oh my God.
I only have 2.
2? Okay.
I mean, I'll share one.
Okay, share one.
I feel when I'm mad, I get very, very short. Like, I don't know how to process and be patient. I like lose that function of patience.
So you're when you say short, do you mean your words are short or you're just
Like with everything.
Everything.
Like someone like Taylor could ask me, "Oh, how's your day?" And I'll be like, "Fine." And then storm off.
okay. So your words are short, you just kind of get people out of my face.
Yeah, distant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to share theirs?
Emotional.
Emotional. In what way?
Like when I get really, really angry, I want to cry.
Okay.
Not because I'm sad, but because I'm bad.
You're just so angry that
Yep.
that's the only emotion that comes out.
Pretty much.
I should say you feel so angry. Okay. How about this table? Anybody want to share?
I'm withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Let's listen over here, guys. Withdrawn. What does that look like?
I don't talk. I'm just by myself and keep it all inside.
Okay. You just want to be totally, everybody else get away from me when you're angry. Anybody else?
My coworker said she can tell when I'm mad because I start throwing out F-bombs.
That would be a characteristic.
I just feel like physically like my chest tight. Like when I get mad, I felt like physically than anything.
Okay, so you really feel your anger
I feel
just,
like temperature goes up.
okay. How about you guys?
I'm a grudge holder, so if you make me mad, I'm probably not going to forget about what you said or did for a long time, unfortunately.
Okay,
My mouth spews and then I'm very passive aggressive. I won't talk to you. I won't look at you.
okay.
Talk to me all day long. And that's like if you're with my husband.
Right.
Other people
I'm
I
directing
try
this
not
towards
to
my
do
husband
that.
as well.
Okay.
That's who I use for that one.
Okay. So and what does your face look like? What does your body look like when you guys are angry? Your jaw clenches? Okay.
Yeah, and the scalp, these wrinkles really come out.
Gotcha. How about you guys?
A lot of ours are said already. We also said that we get very short and flippy. And
Did you guys hear this over here?
We also said that we get kind of short and flippy with what we say, or we just don't want to say anything at all. And
We all have attitude. Major attitude.
Okay.
I breathe really heavy.
Apparently I laugh. That's what
You laugh when you're angry?
I guess.
Or crying.
Or cry. I cry.
Okay. So your emotions kind of go
This is
out a little out of control. Okay, can you see your face?
Oh my God.
So we all have ways of expressing our anger, right? And they don't always match what everybody else's anger looks like. So think of children who are trying to figure us out. Some of us drop F-bombs. Some of us clench up. Some of us, I don't know. I think a lot of us kind of go inward. And I don't know, but like I look at my husband when he's angry, I go inward and he goes outward. I mean, he is definitely a words spew out of his mouth and his body gets all big. So yeah, okay, now I want you to take that same piece of paper and I want you to write down 3 characteristics of somebody you know really well. What do they look, act, sound like when they're angry?
Only for you.
And same with you guys on this Zoom. I want you to write down those 3 characteristics of somebody you know well. What do they look like when they're angry? And you will send them to me. Ooh, we're hearing lots of good words. I'm going to take the computer. Okay, these people over here, you guys are on.
Okay.
We're
Somebody-
talking about a male figure.
A male figure. Okay.
They yell, they throw. Her dad stutters.
He doesn't even stutter. He doesn't even say.
He's like,
That's my dad all the time, actually.
Okay. So he just says gibberish,
Yeah.
angry gibberish.
Yeah.
And their bodies are big. Okay. Anybody else? Somebody you know well?
Red face. The face gets red.
Red face?
Really bad scowl. Yes.
Okay.
Super loud.
We're getting it really loud. Yeah. Use their number 5 voice?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Sarcastic tone of voice.
Oh, really? Okay. So, yeah, okay. I get that.
Talks without thinking, speaks in the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Impulsive.
Impulsive, that impulsive speech. Okay. How many similarities between what you guys do and between what your chosen person does? Are there any similarities?
We're opposite.
Totally opposite?
He's a yeller and slams.
Mm-hmm. You're that, I'll get you later.
Yes.
I'll always win. Okay. And again, because we deal with anger differently, I guess we need to just realize that we all process anger differently, and kids do too. So we have to, I mean, if someone were to tell you, you know what, I can see that you really feel mad, but I want you to break out of your shell and just be friends to everybody right now, okay? How would that make you feel? Mm-hmm. Or if you were to tell your person that you were just talking about, and they're all in their big mode, and you were to say, you know what, you just need to calm down. Does that help? Yeah, you never see it just happen like, boom, okay, yeah, you're right. It doesn't happen that way. We're going to go back to sharing. Hopefully. Okay. So are you guys able to identify when people are angry? Even though we look angry differently, you're pretty much able to do that for the most part. Kids are not always able to do that, so sometimes we have to help. When we're looking at managing anger and impulse control, again, before they learn to solve social problems, they must first of all be able to handle their anger and their impulse control. So this involves 3 things: recognizing anger in yourself and others. We're good at that, right? We just figured out that we can recognize anger. So when we're trying to teach children how to recognize anger in themselves, when they're angry, validate it. Say, you look like you feel angry. Let's do something with that anger. We need to teach children, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but we need to teach children how we can be angry in our classroom. Because we all feel angry at times. It's what we do with that anger. to me, it's okay to go inward because I'm not hurting anybody as long as I deal with my anger inwardly and I'm able to diffuse and then I'm able to problem solve. But that external anger when you're hurting other people or property, we can't do that in our classroom. So just recognizing anger in ourselves, reading books, watching videos, talking about how other people might be feeling, recognizing it in others. We need to just point that out to kids. That's learning to teach them on that impulse control and anger resolution. Knowing how to calm down, and we're gonna practice doing a calm down thing here in a little bit, and then expressing anger in appropriate ways. Remember the stages of learning when we're teaching, that show and tell or that acquisition stage, we talked about that. Remember when we talk about anger, when we're teaching something, we tell what it is, we show what it looks like, but if we don't keep practicing it, it goes away quickly, they lose it. So, and then we have that practice stage, and then the maintenance and the generalization stage. So in the practice stage, we want to promote that self-control and the independence by using visual supports and verbal reinforcement. When we see children doing it right, we recognize it and we comment on it. We put all these visual supports, and we're going to get to Tucker Turtle here in a little bit, but that's a visual support. The smell the flowers, blow out the candles is a visual support that helps children learn how to calm down. That's a visual reinforcement. I'm sorry, these slides just look like they're in a weird order, and no, they're just in a random order. So I'm just going random with you. Are you okay with that? Please say yes. Okay. Okay, so in order to feel totally calm, we have to make sure that we are setting up for success. Our room has to be arranged. We talked about our environment. Our room is arranged to promote predictability. It needs to be safe, you know, all those things. It needs to be accessible, and then also engaging. Our schedule needs to be predictable, so we're doing the same things every day because that's calming. And when we're doing those things, we're setting children up for success, so hopefully they don't get to these anger and these impulsive things. But sometimes they still will, and that's why we want to teach these other things. When they have the secure and predictable environments, opportunities to be successful, they're less likely to have those inappropriate behaviors. So again, this is a little bit of review. Using room arrangement strategies allows children to self-monitor and make those good choices. If we have it set up for success, lots of visuals, these are our red, these are our green activities. We can do these, and the red ones are things that we don't do in our class. Just setting it up. Again, also, we need to have a calm down area in your classroom. And this is not an area that we're calling timeout. A calm down area is a place where anybody can go when they're feeling angry or they're feeling stressed and they need to get away from people, because at this time, people are really annoying to that person. And they can just go and they can diffuse. Does anybody here have a calm down area already? And if you have a timeout, that doesn't count. A calm down area. You guys do? What does your calm down area look like?
Ours is a cube, a wooden cube.
A wooden cube. And I'm going to, so everybody can hear.
With pillows. Well, they've already nailed some of them.
Oh, okay.
So it's got pillows in it. It has little fidgety toys in it. Some books in it.
Okay.
So.
And when can a child go there?
When they're feeling sad. I have a harder time getting them to go there when they're angry.
Okay.
Because they don't want to leave.
Okay.
But it's more when they're sad. They miss
Okay.
their mom. They're just having a bad
Okay.
day. They all know they can just go there whenever they want.
Whenever they need.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And you have one too over here?
Yep.
What does yours look like?
It's like a little round tunnel tent thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then in it we have the pinwheel flower that they can blow, and then around it is the emotion pictures.
Okay. Okay. And the thermometer.
Yep.
When can kids go there?
Whenever they need to.
Whenever they need to.
They're pretty good about going there too.
Okay.
Mostly when they get like super emotional within their centers. I notice that they go there more.
Do they ever tell you, or they just go?
And they just go. And I'll walk
Nice.
over there.
And talk to
talk to
them?
them, yeah.
Okay. So you're there to support? Perfect. Did you guys say yes, you did over here? No? Anyone over here? Yes, you do?
Oh my god. I just have a tent too.
A tent?
So,
Okay.
same thing. A teepee.
A teepee.
A
My
teepee.
bad.
Okay. Okay. And when can children go there?
Whenever.
The same, like what
Yeah.
they said?
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have some kind of a calm down center in your classroom, and again, make it a place that just a quiet place. Have those visual supports like the Tucker turtle or just anything that gets them to calm. The pinwheel is great. Sometimes I've seen people, they might have bubbles, but that can kind of get fun, so that depends. Or feathers, just because blowing is a de-stressing activity, especially if you breathe in through your nose. Everybody do it with me now. And you have to count 5 times. So hold it for 5. Blow out for 5. And hold that for 5. I'm sorry, I should have told you 4. It's supposed to be 4. It's called 4 square breathing. After I did 5, I'm like, oh yeah, it's 4 square breathing. So you breathe in for 4, hold it for 4. This is more for us because kids can't really do that. This is more for us when we get stressed. That 4 square breathing. Breathe in through your nose, hold it for 4, out through your mouth for 4, and then hold that for 4. And that's supposed to really get our brain to calm. With children, we just do blowing activities. One of the calming centers I've seen even has yoga poses in it. So just some calming yoga poses is kind of a neat idea too. Anything that you can do that just shows kids that it's okay to be calm. I mean, we want to get them to calm. So when we're teaching children to learn to recognize anger, what are some ways that shows that they are angry, that they express it externally? What do we see? Whoops. Feet are stomping. What else? Okay. We should write. Can I have somebody be our recorder and just write these down? Okay. Thanks. Oh no, we have no markers. Oh yeah, there we go. You are in luck. So we've heard feet stomping. What was the other one? Throwing toys. Okay. Yelling. What's another one? And these are all still, we're just thinking external.
Balled up fist.
What was that?
Balled up fist.
A balled up fist. Okay.
Oh my gosh, she does.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Arms are crossed.
Facial expressions.
We got the fist. We've got
Throwing toys.
throwing toys or throwing anything. What else?
Facial expression.
What kind of a facial expression when they're angry? What? Sour face. What's a sour face? Yeah.
Wrinkled eyebrows.
Yeah, you can put sour face, angry face. Kicking. Spitting.
Pouting.
Pouting.
Hurting,
What was that one?
hurting,
Hurting.
crying,
Hurting other children. Okay. Crying. Grunting. Okay. What else?
hurtful words.
Hurtful words. And sometimes I hear kids using profanity. They're ticked and they want you to know it. And so they're using words that are attention grabbing. Okay. Do you ever see, and I've been in rooms where kids will throw chairs, throw furniture. Okay, so those are the running away when you're angry. Okay, running. How about some physiological ways that anger is expressed internally? What do you see that's happening to their bodies? You see them get tense. What else do they do? I heard it over here. Have fast breathing. What else happens to their bodies when they're angry? Face can get red. Sometimes they get hot. Anything else? Tense, oh, tense body. Oh, I didn't see it, the light was shining on it, sorry. Is that it? Thank you for that. When we look at that list right there, don't leave yet, don't leave. I want you to circle, as a group, decide which one of these are okay to do in our classrooms. As far as the externalizing one, what's okay? Crossed arms, is that okay? Let's circle that one. That's all right. If you're mad in our room, you can cross your arms. That's okay. How about feet stomping? Is that okay? For some? Sometimes they have to get that anger out. And if I'm that kind of a person that's got to get my anger out, stomping feet, that's okay. For me, that's okay. It might not be okay for all of you. How about yelling? Is that okay? No. No, that's that emergency voice, unless you're really like your legs getting cut off. Yeah, that's not okay in our classroom. Fists, can they show you a fist? Is that okay?
They're not hitting at me. And I feel like certain kids will take that too long.
Ooh. What if you had something that they could grab, like even a chair? It's like when you're angry, it's okay to grab your chair and just pull it close to your body, because that means that we're angry in our class. Is that okay? We have to teach children what is okay to do in our class. We have to practice it. And when we see them using those appropriate behaviors in our classroom, we acknowledge it. And we give them a pom-pom. If we're filling up a marble jar or whatever it is we're filling up, not at the moment, obviously, but later on, say, you know what, I noticed that you were feeling really mad today, and I was so proud of you. You stomped your feet and you went right to the calm down center. That is amazing. You get a marble for our marble jar, or a cookie for the cookie jar, whatever it is you're filling up. That is how we do things in our class. I'm proud of you. How about any of those others? Crying, throwing, sour face. Is a sour face okay? Crying? Crying is okay, as long as it's not too loud. But yeah, sometimes you just have to cry, and that's okay. Yeah, the rest of them. So what we chose were feet stomping, crossed arms, crying, and a sour face. Whatever is okay in your classroom, teach that. So remember when we had, thank you.
Good job, Kate.
So remember when we had that die that I rolled, that we all took turns rolling? And if you're happy and you know it, do whatever. So we can teach that if you're sad and if you're angry or mad and you know it, stomp your feet or cross your arms or punch your hand if that's okay. I don't know if that's okay, but whatever you teach your kids to do that. There's lots of different ways to practice anger recognition. The charades, the feeling face, all those different things that, you know, how are you feeling? Everybody make that same face. And then again, through children's literature. Books are a great way to teach children about emotions because characters in books feel so many different ways, and sometimes it gives children a way to identify and to get those feelings out. So here's just a couple that are available. As a individual facilities, I want you guys to think about at your table, talk at your table, how can children in your center express anger? How are you going to teach them how to express anger in your classroom? Talk as a group and then be prepared to share out. And those of you in the Zoom, how would you like kids to express anger? All right, I'm going to walk around with the computer. Let's start with this group. Okay, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to listen to this group. What are you guys going to do to let your kids express anger? How can they do it in your room?
I like your little game that you suggested. I think that's really cute. Try that out.
Okay.
I also love books. I totes and totes and totes, so I'm a big reader. So
that's how you're going to teach it and learn to identify.
Yeah.
When kids are mad in your room, in your building, how can they be mad? What can they do when they're mad?
They can cry, they can stomp, they can make mean faces.
Okay.
Cross their arms,
And that's okay.
the floor.
So we have to teach that. You guys have to teach that. How about you guys? How can kids express anger in your classroom? What's okay?
Feet stomping, crossed arms, all those that are circled.
As long as they're not hurting somebody or themselves or property,
Okay.
then I always tell them it's, if they are, it's not okay.
But it's okay.
It's okay.
How are you
And
going
I
to
always
teach it?
say, I can see you're angry. I would be angry too.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't hurt anybody because of it. But how, I don't know, I tell stories.
Okay.
Like personal of when I was a kid.
So you're going to teach it through your personal stories,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to play some games and read some books. Can you do that too?
Mm-hmm.
And can you say, hey guys, we're going to practice being mad today. We're sitting in a circle And I want everybody in our class, when we're mad, if you chose stomp your feet or cry or whatever, we are going to pretend that we feel mad right now on the count of 3. And then when I say stop, or if you have that stop sign, when I say stop, then we'll stop and we'll pick a different emotion. But our first emotion is going to be anger. Ready, set, go. And I would show the stop sign or the go sign, and everybody can be sad and show that they're appropriately, gosh, why do I keep saying sad? Appropriately angry. And then you could say stop, and then it's done. And then you talk about, you guys did such a great job at showing what you can do in our class when you're angry. What are you guys gonna do? What's okay?
We said read books. But then in our center, scream to a pillow, scream to the pillow.
Scream into a pillow.
Scream into a pillow. When you're angry in our classroom, you can scream into a pillow because you're getting your anger out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the pillow's catching it. Yeah. Yeah. Teach it. Teach it. How are you going to teach it with a group of, let's say, 15? Can everybody have a pillow? Or a Kleenex or something? Pretend it's a pillow, or go get your coat or your mitten or whatever. Blanket. Something that they have, and practice. Let them all practice. Stop. And then tell them what a great job they did at showing how they were angry. How about this table? Or are you guys all together? You worked all together?
Oh, okay. What was the question again?
How can children in your center express anger?
Cross their arms, make me face, stop. A lot of us have like big floor pillows in our room, so they can like go there and chill out. Scream it if they need to.
Okay.
Sometimes they punch them.
And if that's okay, teach it. And then if you see them doing it after their anger is gone, let them know that you appreciate that they used their appropriate actions for showing how they were angry. How are you going to teach it?
Show them.
Demonstrate, show, practice. Yep. And then again, through literacy, through songs, through puppet play. You can do it with puppets too. But you definitely want to get all of those stages in. That show and tell stage, you show what it looks like. They're just learning about it. You practice, 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 and then you promote it so until they've got it. And you're still promoting it. And again, when I say promote, that just means you recognize it and acknowledge it. More books. Literacy is great for teaching social emotional things. So we know that that's the first step, is just recognizing anger in ourselves and recognizing anger in others. We teach, we practice, we promote. The other thing is learning how to get to calm. So I'm going to ask you guys just to define, we're just kind of a friendly group here. What does it mean to be calm? If you were going to define it to children, how would you define calm?
Relaxed.
Relax. Chill. Okay. How about tense? How would you define tense? Upset.
Red.
Your body starts to turn red sometimes. What else? I'm going to show you a way you can teach this to your kids. Okay. Once children can once they learn how to recognize their anger, then they can start the process of calming down. One way to do that is smell the flowers, blow out the candles. Smell the flowers, blow out the candles. That gets us to calm. What I like to do, and I don't remember where it is on the thing, so I'll just do it right now. And everybody has to participate, okay? And people on Zoom, you have to do it too, even though you might be by yourself. So what I want you guys to do is and you might have to get out of your chairs, because eventually, if you feel like laying on the floor, you can. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to take your hands and put them into fists. And then I want to take your hands and your fists and shove them into your bodies really tight. And then I want you to close your eyes and close your mouth. And I want you to squint your eyes as closed as you can. And then I want you to curl down into a little ball and clench your teeth. And I just want you to squeeze your muscles so hard and get to the tiniest little ball you can. And when you're a tiny little ball like that, that's called tense. And when we're tense, we can't think. And when we're angry, that means we're tense and we really can't think. So what I want you to do right now is just to take your hands, and I want you to open up your hands slowly. And drop your hands down to your side. Keep your eyes shut. Keep your eyes shut, and I want you to slowly make your legs go back to long. Stretch your legs out. And I want you to open your eyes if you feel like it, but you don't have to open your eyes. And I want you just to open your mouth, let it hang open. Take a deep breath. Blow it out. Take a deep breath. Blow it out. Open your eyes. That's called calm. And when we're calm, our bodies are relaxed and our brains can think. And when you're angry, you're up here at a level red, or if you have the 5-point scale, I call it a level 5. And when we're at a level 5, we can't think. And because I'm a teacher and I'm here to help you to learn, my job is to get you to at least a green. And because when we're in the green level, we can think and we can get calm. In your folders, I think I have a 5-point scale on getting to calm. So that's how I would teach it, and that's how I do teach it to little kids. I have everybody get in those little tiny balls, and they're all clenching, and my voice gets really loud, because when a voice is loud, it's real annoying and everybody gets tense. But then you use your voice to calm them back down. And you just and you show them the difference. And then I would put that 5-point scale in the calm down area, or I would have it in different parts of my classroom and say, hey, you know what? I'm seeing kind of that you're in this orange zone, or whatever color it is, reddish, orangish. I can see you're at that level. Let's figure out how we can get to calm, because my job is to help you to learn. And I've got some fun things I want to teach you. But we can learn best when we're at calm. Another method to teach how to get to calm is the Tucker Turtle method. And this is just, there's a whole book that goes with it, or you can just do this little 4-step thing. It's, first of all, something happens that made you feel angry. So you just recognize that you're angry, and you think, stop. I recognize that I'm angry, and I just need to tell myself stop. And then I go into my shell. I take 3 deep breaths. I have to try to figure out a solution. What can I do now? Because I had this problem, and now I have to figure out my problem. And so it's a problem-solving stage, 4 steps. Recognize you're angry. Tell yourself stop. Go into your shell and take 3 deep breaths. Come out of your shell when you think of a solution. I think the next, I don't know if this is a hot link or not. Well, maybe it is. So the, yay, we have one here. We're just going to use your Tucker. Well, you can go to the Cephal website. We'll use this one so they can. So the Cephal website, that Center for Social and Emotional Foundations for Early Learning, you go to where it has teacher. I already have it bookmarked here, but you can go to where it has like teacher for teachers and caregivers, and then you click on that and it takes you to this page. And then you can click on the Tucker Turtle Takes Time to Tuck and Think. Maybe it'll open. So this is a story that you read to children, and you can do it in a large group or you can do it in small groups. You can introduce it in a large group, but then you would want to read it almost daily at first when you're teaching kids, and then maybe once a week as they learn it, then once every couple of weeks. But it's something that you want to do frequently with children, especially at first. So here's the story, and I'm going to keep it small just so I don't mess up my whole presentation thing here. So Tucker Turtle takes time to tuck and think. Tucker Turtle is a terrific turtle. He likes to play with his friends at Wet Lake School. But sometimes things can happen that makes Tucker really mad. When Tucker got mad, he used to hit, kick, or yell at his friends. And his friends would get mad or upset when he hit, kicked, or yelled at them. Would you feel mad and upset if your friend did that to you? Yeah, I would. Now, Tucker knows a new way to think like a turtle when he gets mad. He can stop and keep his hands, his body, and yelling to himself. He can tuck inside his shell and take 3 deep breaths to calm down. Tucker can then think of a solution or a way to make it better. Tucker's friends are happy when he plays nicely and keeps his body to himself. Friends like it when Tucker uses nice words or has a teacher help him when he's upset. The end. And then it's got those 4 pictures there if anyone wants to use those.
I happen to have 2 little turtles.
Okay.
That my kids got like at McDonald's. They're like 21, 16 now or something. And their heads tuck in, the legs tuck in. It's just like this big. So I have that with the book.
Nice.
That they can look at the book and tuck it in.
And tuck in the turtle.
Yeah.
Do you see your kids using the Tucker, the turtle strategies?
Yeah, I have put it in my cube.
Good.
And they'll go in there and they like to just mess with the turtle. But at least
it helps them. Yeah, it's a good visual. We talked about it.
I keep everything that my kids ever got. It all comes.
It does. It comes back around. Yeah. So using this, and it's a free, you can go here yourself. You can download the pictures, print them off, and use them with your classes. But doing it, I mean, it's a nice way just to practice how to get to calm with kids. So here's just some ways that other teachers have done it. They have them on the big pictures, or they have them on a little ring, like a keychain, and just have their Tucker Turtle pictures. They might take it out to recess if they need it. Some of them have them hanging in the classrooms, maybe by the calming center would be a good idea. Self-control games also help kids with self-control. That red light, green light game, Mother May I. Those are some nice games that help with that stop and go. That video that we did I think it was last week, and we did the dancing. It was like the freeze dance. That would be another one. Fast and slow games. The freeze tag, Simon Says. That bubble lesson from Teacher Tipster that you didn't get to see, but I explained. And this talks about that quiet spot, that calming center. Just a nice, soft, safe place where they can go so they can get to calm. And it's a place that's visible by you, but kids still feel like they're able to calm down. You can have a calm down kit, that might include bubbles, straws where they can blow, then you want them to throw them away so you don't reuse straws. A bouncy ball or Play-Doh, something they can squeeze, Theraputty. There's a whole bunch of different squishy toys. I found this, just different little things you can squeeze because sometimes squeezing helps. Those sensory bottles that you can fill up like a heavy Coke bottle. Put some glitter and some like white syrup, maybe some water or oil, colored water, and just watch the flow. And that's a nice sensory. Paper, pencils, crayons, so kids can draw out their feelings, draw their emotions. Those calm down visuals. What can you do when you're upset? I personally don't like that visual because to me it shows kids that, I don't know. I just would have one that can kind of get to calm, but some people like it, so I'm okay with that. Another one, and I thought I had it in here, but have you guys heard of a Zen garden? It is? Okay. A Zen garden is another one, and because people have found that just raking through sand is very calming. So just something where you can rake through sand, have those natural materials, because for some reason connecting with nature is very calming. We're probably designed that way. But problem solving is difficult for adults. It's difficult for kids, and it's hard for us too. Research has demonstrated that even young children are cognitively able to solve problems. So we should let them, because the more problems that they can solve, the better they're going to get at it. Problem solving can be done step by step. So one of the things we can do for problem solving is let them fix their uh-ohs. It's like, uh-oh, I spilled all the milk on the table. And it's just, uh-oh. So how are you going to fix that? That's okay. How are you going to fix it? Rather than us freaking out, let me get a rag, you need to go, or you go get a rag, just say, okay, now what? What can you do? And just help them figure out how to solve their problems. Or if they're up too high on a slide, I can't get down. Rather than just picking them up and getting them down, be there and talk them down through it if you need to. Or hand over hand, put your hands, but let them have some success at solving problems. Encourage them to dress themselves, perform simple tasks. It might be on the next slide, but we need to set up problems too. We need to, we call it problematize everything. Is that the next slide? No. So make everything, not everything, but make many things into a problem. So for example, we could have said tonight, hey guys, I only have 5 pizzas, but we have like 20 people. What can we do? Oh, we need to cut them into slices. Yeah, it's snack time. Hey, I only have 2 apples and we have 6 kids at the table. What do we need to do? Or I only have 2 scissors and 3 kids are at the table and want to cut. What can we do? Set up problems and have them figure out how to solve those problems, so then they can start feeling successful at problem solving, and then they can start solving some social problems too. So when we're helping children solve problems, there's a lot of different strategies. One of them is called most to least prompting. And so this one is, we start off giving children full assistance, and then as they get better and better at it, we then start backing off to where all we need to do is give them a verbal direction, or maybe even just point to a visual. When would be an example? What would be an example of giving most to least? Bathroom time. First of all, we're helping them do everything, right? We're when we're potty training, we pull down the pants, we put them on the toilet, we encourage them to do their thing, and then we wipe their tail, and then we help them pull up their pants. But eventually, you're letting them do more and more and more on their own. Same could be with putting their coat on by themselves. We start, we help do everything, we might let them finish. Or we might let them start. We're giving them a lot and then we're just backing off. Eventually, we might just need to show them a picture or say, hey, try your other arm. Or pull up your pants. Or maybe we don't need to do anything. That's most to least. Least to most means that we start with just a little and we see they can't do it, so then we give a little bit more. So we might just say, you need to brush your teeth. It's time to brush your teeth. And they just look at you. So you might come over and say, get your toothbrush. And they just look at you. So you might have to give them a tap. Get your toothbrush. Oh, get your toothbrush. And so then you're just doing more and more and more because you want to start off with letting them be as independent as possible and give them prompts up to whatever it is they need. So social problem solving with children. Does anybody need a break? I guess we've been at it for kind of. Raise your hand if you need like a 10-minute break. All right, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Come back at 7. You know what?
Okay, I graduated.
Oh, you just
I knew you looked familiar, but my graduation.
You're from Mobile too.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Sure.
You don't Oh, you do?
Hey guys, we just talked about.
Yeah.
Well, ran across the
Yeah.
Yeah.
You live across.
It has like 1 more minute for their break.
So the house that's behind, right?
Oh, those houses. I'm red. I am so red. Because JD just left her. I live on the second. What? Kaden is at JD, stupid basketball. Do you know Keelan and that's I was in such a bad mood after that. I was like, I didn't want to choose because that's why. Yeah. Like I said, it was short and I got done with that.
We're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just remember that preschoolers love to experiment with lots of materials, but sometimes they get focused on just one idea, and when it doesn't work out, they get frustrated. So what we need to do is just help them figure out, give them the words, say, hey, you know what, that didn't work. What else can you try? And just help them learn to start problem solving. Preschoolers are just starting to take the perspective of others so they can benefit from those, hey guys, we have a problem situation. So we all come back and we start problem solving and brainstorming and start to say, look at it from a different person's point of view. Hey guys, we have a problem. In the block center today, I noticed that 5 people wanted to play with the same truck. What can we do? What do we need to do? Well, I was playing with it first. I know you were playing with it first. But John didn't get a chance to play with the truck. How do you think John was feeling then? How would you feel if you didn't get a chance to play with the truck? And just talk it out. Let them problem solve as a big group. So when we're supporting, we can be there to offer those hints and to do what we call scaffolding. What would happen if you, and give them some suggestions. Do you guys remember that Flip It handout that I gave that was in your packet? I think the key might be offer some ideas or some problem solvings. Brainstorming opportunities with peers. Let's ask Joey. Let's see if he knows what might work. If you can't think of a solution, let's see if Joey can think of a solution. Or turn those mistakes into learning experiences. Hey, you know what? That didn't work. What else could you try? It's preschool. We're here to practice. We're here to learn. We're here to problem solve. What else could you do? By ages 5 or 6, older kids, these kids who are 5 or 6, can usually figure out if a solution might work or not without actually trying it. With younger kids, they'll have to try the solution first. And there's a really good video coming up that I cannot wait to show you. But it's a teacher, she's scaffolding with a little girl, trying out all these different solutions from her solution kit. And nothing was working, but she was trying them all out. Older kids can use that deductive reasoning. They can start to look at cues and clues and just use their observation to try to figure out. It's like, oh, that's not going to work because, and they'll figure that out. When we're teaching children, we want to teach them to first pay attention to their feelings. Because when they identify an uncomfortable feeling, that's a clue. That's your body's clue that there's a problem. So wouldn't that be fun to teach them? I don't know, just to teach kind of like Blue's Clues, you know? Is that a thing anymore? Okay. Okay, so it's like that's a clue. Your body's giving you clues that there's a problem. If you're feeling uncomfortable, that's a clue that you might need to be solving a problem. After the problem has been identified, then you reframe it into I statements. Instead of saying, they won't let me play, well, then that's their problem. What's your problem? Oh, I want to play with them. Oh, well, then let me help you with that. Because if I'm going to, you know, I like that, how it's reframing it into an I statement. Does that make sense? And then help them generate solutions. And our solution kit that, I think you have one in your folders, right? Little tiny solution kit. Do I have little tiny cards or didn't I put those in? The problem solving solution kit, it's got like 10 different problems. Get a teacher, ask nicely, I didn't do that for you. Maybe I didn't, but it's on that that CEFL website, that CSEFEL website. That has the solution kit, and you can do PowerPoint. It'll do like big pages, or you can do a little page, but that's your solution problem solving kit. The key to teaching children is just to help them think of as many different ways to solve the problem as possible. Sometimes kids get hung up and they always use, get a timer. I have a problem. I want that toy. I'll get a timer. I want that. I'll get a timer. And so let's teach them to try different solutions. It's like, okay, well, today the timer is gone. Ooh, that might be a problem. Now what can you do? And here's the point. We want to learn that there's many different ways to solve a problem. There's not just one solution. We want children to learn that there's many different ways to solve problems. So again, once it's selected, let them try. Let them see if it works. Not every solution is going to work. So if it doesn't, pick another solution. Let's see if this one works. So again, we want to teach these problem-solving skills. When I say problem-solving skills, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Some do, some don't. Let's go to the SiouxCity12 website. So we're going to go down to the solution kit, and we'll do this one. This would probably be my last one. the Get a Teacher. But when you teach it, you want to teach them one at a time. So one of the first ones I like to do is trade, actually. And I like to do trade just because it offers a solution to a problem, and it's a win-win, pretty much. So you teach one solution at a time for a whole week. You're just teaching, you're modeling, you're practicing, you're promoting that one solution. And once you've taught it, you've practiced it, and you've promoted it, then that's a solution. You put it in your kit. Some people put it on Velcro, and they have it in a folder. Some people put it in a suitcase. Some people put it on a keychain. However you want to do it, wherever you want to put it, just now we have a solution. When you have problems in your class, you can see if a child wants to trade with you. Only do one strategy at a time for a whole week. And then the next week, you might go and do share. So remember how I told you trade? Trade is when I want something, somebody has something, I have something, and I give him mine, he gives me his. It's a trade. We each end up with something. Share. I have many of something, you have nothing. And so you want something of mine, and I give you some. So then we practice it. I give kids like 5 bears, 5, and I skip every other. They have partners. Now let's practice. And we use our words, we do it nicely, and we practice, we teach, we practice, we promote, we model, we teach, we practice to promote for a whole week. We might bring in trade. Ooh, remember we learned trade too. Let's practice our trade. Now we have 2 strategies we can use. And then the next week we go to another one, and then another one, and then another one, so we have all of the strategies.
The only thing with them is some are for playing, some are for, if they need you, like Get a Teacher, we always teach that one first because they may be new to the room and they don't, if they want to haul off and hit somebody, I always want to know, I'm here to help you.
Okay, then that's a good way to put it. I didn't think of it that way.
That's where I first start out.
Okay.
I'm right here. If you need me, I will help you, because it's not just sharing toys.
It's just if you have any kinds of a
people
problem,
and
any kind of a
ignoring
problem.
them.
That's a good idea. That is a good
And then
idea.
sometimes there are kids that just can't handle, and you have to stay on to Get a Teacher because they're going to hit. That's their first instinct.
Okay.
And so I need them to find me immediately.
Okay.
And not take it in upon themselves to
do it.
Yeah.
I've done that too. I've had kids that I will say, get me first, and then if you're there, you can help walk them through it.
That's in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, and I think I told you this, some of my teachers who do this, they teach one strategy a week, and then they put it on the wall. And then eventually, once they've taught them all, then they have the solution helper.
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. And so then it's like, you don't get me first.
Well, we move it from Get a Teacher to Get Help. Because
Okay.
you might be able to not get a teacher. You could ask somebody. Anybody else, maybe a friend, to help you.
Okay, perfect.
But, yeah, in the beginning, because I have kids that will hurt and not have, scream and they don't get their way. And I just want you to know
That you're the safe person. Okay. That's a good idea. I like that. So different ways you can teach it. Again, through books, through games, through role playing, through videos. You can take videos of kids doing the right thing. You can do puppets and do puppet shows, practicing those strategies, problem solving with the strategies. Just however you can think of teaching it, teach it, because they need it over and over and over. These are the ones that are in the solution kit from Cephal. You can have your own solutions. If Get a Peer is a solution in your classroom, teach what that looks like and make a card for it and have it be one of the solutions. So here's just a couple of them. This is the video I cannot wait to show you because I love how this teacher scaffolds and helps this little girl. Oops.
When he's ready, we'll have a tour of the car, okay?
We want to start from the beginning.
I'll give you the car. You really like that car? You know that you have a car? What solution did you try? Well, it looks like you tried to take it from him. Was that a good solution? That's right. You tried to take it and he didn't give it to you. It looks like you maybe got hurt a little bit. So was that a very good solution? Yeah. So what do you think you should try next? Okay, try that one. Oh man, that's such a good solution, and he still said no. He's making it tough on you, Marisha. What else can you do? Okay, try that one. Wait, Frankie, just a minute. What did he say? You tried 2 really good solutions and he still said no? You are such a good problem solver. What else can you try? Where can we find more solutions at? What is that thing that Maggie had? Do you remember? What did Maggie have? She had that big suitcase. What was that? Maggie had, what did she have? The solution kit. Should we get the solution kit? You know where the solution kit is, Jordan? Anthony, do you know where the solution kit is? Can you go grab it for us? We've got a case for the solution kit. Thanks, buddy. That was very helpful. All right, Larisha. Open it up. Good. You really want to play with that car? Wait and take turns. That one you would have to be so strong, Larisha. This one says you would have to wait and be so strong and wait until he was done with it. You have to go find something else to play with, and then when he was done, come have a turn. I don't know, this one you have to be really strong for. Can you do that one? Want to see what that one is? That one says share. Not sharing, does that one work? It's a good solution, but you didn't want to share. That one sounds great. So you could say, hey Jordan, do you want to use this mask? And then I can use the car? Is he making it tough on you? Yeah. He's making it tough on you, Larisha. Well, Larisha, this one's the only one we haven't tried yet. That's right. Wait and take turns. Should we do that? All right. Let's go put it over here, okay? When he's ready, we'll have a turn with the car, okay?
So what did you see her do?
Stay by his side the entire time.
She stayed by her side the whole time.
Helped her through it.
She was there coaching the whole way.
Gave her positive feedback. We tried 2 times. And he still said, no, what should we do?
And did it work?
Looked a little defeated, right?
She looked a little defeated, but there was no, and obviously the teacher knows these children well and knows Larisha might be one that would have some problems, so she was right there to help. I love that one. I think that was pretty cool. Another way to help children learn how to problem solve is having problem solving games. And just any kind of a cooperative game where kids have to work together, learn together, follow directions. They're developing problem solving skills. So again, we want to practice and we want to promote it. We're doing it indirectly, we're doing it directly. We have the visuals there, we do in the moment. We can use the solution wheels. We can make a solution wheel. I have no idea what a solution cootie catcher is. What could that be? It sounds like some game somebody made up, but I don't know what that game is. But songs, role playing. This is where I was talking about you make everything into a problem, or many things into a problem. Play those games like, what would you do if you came to school and you found out your shoes were missing? What would you do? What would you do if you came to school and there was no water coming out of the sink? What could we do?
You said there's no water coming out of the sink.
That must be a real thing. Let children make their own solution kits. Share them with your families. Remember, we want to include families too, so you can share those solution kits with your families and tell the families what it looks like. You know, if you have a different way of what trade looks like, then tell them what your trade looks like. Give children opportunities to solve problems in stories. So like if you're reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears, what else could the pigs have done? Give them a way to end the story in a different way. How do you guys help kids solve problems in your centers? What do you already do?
We have the solution kits on key.
Okay,
So that way we're ready and able anytime.
nice.
Lisa and I role played in front of a kid. And she's like, "Whoa. I can't believe you said," like, she looked at me like, "You're this person," and then she looked at her like, "You're so mean." And then we turned around and I said, "I'm sorry, I was so mean. I said I wasn't your friend." I said, "I'm sorry, I said you were my friend too. You can come to my birthday party."
Yeah, you help kids. You're there to scaffold, because remember, if they can't identify their emotions, or if they can't solve social problems, then we teach. We are teachers. We teach everything. To enhance those problem-solving skills, just kind of like what that teacher did, we want to anticipate, be aware of where the problems might occur, put yourself in that close proximity, and be there to support, encourage, and promote when they're doing the right thing, or even if they're struggling doing the right thing. Here's another video of one school's success story. Maybe.
Social emotional learning and listening unified is about teaching the whole child. It's about really giving the skills to the students that's going to help them be successful beyond school.
Social and emotional learning happens all day long in the classroom. I have been working here for 10 years, so I went through the not having the pyramid model implemented and now having it implemented, and it's amazing just seeing how that they can interact and they become friends. I think there's a lot more conversation going on. We've been implementing the pyramid model for several years. It's helped to support all of our learners, so whether or not the child has a special education learning need or is a typically developing child, everyone can be supported through the pyramid model, and I found that to be one of its biggest strengths. I've seen it work with a variety of different learners across our district. They're called solution cards. If there were two kiddos playing in a block area and one may have purposely or accidentally knocked over blocks, we would see how they would handle it first, and then we would offer them the solution cards, or even back and forth talk with them about how the situation could be. I used one today. Oh, I used this one. I just asked the teacher to set it down so I could play in it.
my son tells his little 2-year-old sister to find a solution all the time when they are having a conflict with sharing.
Since putting this in place, there's not a whole lot that we as teachers have to think about, like how are we going to handle this? Well, we have all of these great tools such as Fuzzy Beats or Turtle, Super Friends, things that we have implemented. So I feel like it kind of takes that pressure off of us, and if we just go to what we've been taught through our trainings, it is a lot easier.
Fuzzy Bee likes to be safe and kind.
The same connection with Fuzzy Bee, to be safe and kind by having our bees in the hive or out of the hive. So out of the hive is a gentle reminder that what you're doing is either not safe or kind. So at the end of the day, we check in with Buzzy and Miss Bean and see where your bee is, and you get your bee sticker to go home with that parents know to look out for and ask where it is on that. If you're not earning your sticker for the day, I definitely discuss with you why exactly it did not happen for you that day, a plan for the next day, and then end it by saying Buzzy and I are moving forward to see you tomorrow.
Throughout the city and our district, we do have a lot of children who come in that have mental health concerns. And so we found that the pyramid model really helps to support their social and emotional learning.
We all wear so many hats in the building. We're parents, we're teachers, we're nurses, we're everything under the sun just to try and help these little ones get through their days.
Tucker Turtle is our little guy that we use for conflict resolution and when we're upset or angry. So he does tell us breathe, 1, 2, 3, breathe, go in and tuck in and come back out when we're ready and see things in a new light. I had a little boy who was just so angry and you could see it in his face, and I had gotten there before it was going to explode, and I'm like, what can we do? And he's like, I can go get Tucker Turtle. I'm like, yep, let's go get Tucker Turtle. Let's go through the book and like look through it and see what he says, and let's, calm our body down and do it with Tucker Turtle. And within minutes, he was ready to go back to where he needed to go and without the huge explosion. So it's pretty cool, especially when they can do that on their own.
143 more families of Dakota that are enrolled into our 4K program this year. So the word is getting out that these people do really good work in preparing kids for the next step.
It really does work. If you implement what you are learning and you do your plans, you put those relationships in place, you have your environment built for success, and you start teaching these social emotional strategies, it really does work. And families will they're going to see it happening with their children, and the word will get out. This was that other tool that I was telling you about, that Flip It. This is from the Devereaux Foundation. Just another quick thing that you can do with kids when they're having a problem. This is kind of an in the moment thing. I need something quick. We've talked about Tucker Turtle, but this is just a quick. So first of all, you talk about the children's feelings. You help them identify. I see you must be feeling angry right now. You look like you have a problem. Your body's telling you a problem. Remember, in our classroom, we are safe, we're gentle, we're kind. Whatever your big, whatever you decided for your expectations, remember, in our classroom, this is what we decided we are. So think about some solutions. What can you do right now? It's that FLIP. This is a strategy for you. And then if they can't think of anything, then you're prompting them to give some ideas. What can you do? Just another tool. When children lack those key social emotional skills, we sometimes have to do some individual teaching. If the rest of the kids are getting it and we're ready to move on to the next one, we're ready to move on to the next, but this one child still has a hard time, then we just need to give that extra support. Look at the skills that are most important. If that child just needs to learn how to get somebody else's attention, then let's just teach that child to tap, 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 say their name, look and wait for eye contact, just do step by step by step. And if you just have to practice tapping, good job. You tap 3 times. Woohoo! Talk to the parents and keep doing it. Keep doing it until he can tap all by himself. Then you go to the next stage. Now I want you to tap and say his name and look at his eyes. Let's do that together. Tap, tap, tap. And just wherever the child is, you help and get him to the next level. You want to monitor the progress. And this is usually when you call in the AEA for support because you're monitoring progress. So I'm not going to go through all that because there's other levels. When we're doing strategies to teach, we're going to talk later about peer-mediated strategies. We're going to talk about the manned model strategies. We've already talked about least to most, and we've already talked about most to least. So these are some other strategies we can do. Peer-mediated strategies was developed by Joseph and Strain, and that's when you use your classmates, the children's classmates, as peers or buddies to help teach their friends skills. Because sometimes kids learn best from each other. So when you're doing those peer strategies, if you're trying to teach sharing, you go to that peer and say, hey, I'm going to work with sharing. I want you to help Jack learn about sharing today. So can you ask if he will share some toys with you? And give the clear directions, be specific on what you want that peer to do. And you want to monitor and support that peer buddy. But you also don't want to make that one, if you have this one super friend in your classroom, don't burn out the super friend and make him always be the buddy to the hard to handle kid. Because that's pretty stressful too. You can let him do it some of the time, but don't burn him out. You always want to have 2 peers for every one child that has a disability to be sure that they have more engaging opportunities. This is a video that is modeling a peer strategy. So we want to share that with you. He obviously knows he's on camera.
Good. Tell him you're picking up. Tell him he's doing it.
Matthew.
That's good try.
See how that little girl is doing least to most?
There, you did it, Matthew. Okay, tell him to walk up the stairs. Can he carry it up? Let's see if he can carry that up. Let's see if he can try that. Oh, that's great. That's right, Matthew. Walk up. That's right, Matthew. Yeah. Okay, you guys are ready to go. Oh, nice. Other one, Victoria.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Uh-oh, can you do it?
No.
Tell him again.
Wow.
Throw it. There, yes.
Wow.
Good throwing.
Wow.
So did you see how the teacher used that other little child to help, and how the teacher scaffolded the child, but the child was still the peer model? Wasn't that a cute one? What? I was afraid when he went up and turned around, and the way the teacher moved the camera, I'm like, oh, he's going, but it didn't happen that way. So what skills did you see the little girl use when she was teaching Matthew to throw, or whatever it was she was teaching him? What other strategies? So she demonstrated.
Use your words.
She used her words. Yeah, she encouraged him. And I did love how she did use that least to most prompting. She used her words first. He didn't do it. So she kind of gave him a nudge to go up the stairs. He still wasn't going, so she almost picked him up to carry him up the stairs. But she was giving him the prompts that he needed to be successful. I thought that was pretty cool. This is a sample of some buddy systems. This is at a buddy's table. You get a friend's attention, asked to play. If the friend says yes, then you go play together. If the friend says no thanks, you find another friend. So that's something that's all scripted out for kids. This is when you're just assigning a buddy to a child, and they get to play together for a certain amount of time. So this is another one. I want you to see the strengths with this buddy system.
Todd, come see who your buddy is. Open the door. Over there, who's Todd? Oh, look at the picture. Who is that kid over there? Todd, who is that? Hannah, come on up. Okay, you put Hannah's picture on, and Hannah put Scott's picture on. Where do you guys want to play? Oh, I moved that door. You want to play housekeeping? Okay, read it together. Todd, read it. Okay. One. I don't hear you. One. Okay. Housekeeping. Good job. Thank you.
Here, way up here. Up here, Todd. Up here. My brother needs another Dammy because he has another. Yeah, he has another hurt on his back. Way up here.
Todd can get the band-aids for you. Ask him for more.
You got me a Band-Aid.
Up here. Yeah, a Band-Aid. On the table, Todd.
So how did you like the strategy of choosing a peer to play with for center time? And you might set a timer. When the timer's done, you can choose to keep playing with your friend or buddy, whatever you want to call it, or you can find a new buddy to play with. And their scaffolding is just getting kids who don't have those social skills connected with somebody that does. So lots of different ways you can do that. Draw names out of a hat, puzzle pieces together, or who's your mystery partner today. Just fun ways to think of it, how you can do buddies. The manned model is another strategy. So this one, you arrange the environment that really is intriguing to the child, and so you might begin playing with it. So if you want to, you're playing with Play-Doh. I think that's the example. So you're playing, and you can tell that the child wants to play. So you say, tell me what you want. If the child responds correctly, you give him the Play-Doh. If the child doesn't respond, then you go to the next level. You say, Parker, say, I want to play with Play-Doh, or I want that. If he says it, then you give it to him. Good job, you told me that you wanted the Play-Doh. Here you go. If he doesn't say it, then you go to the next step. When the child says the response, you provide it or expand on what the child says. Okay. I thought there was one more step, but obviously there's not. So anyway, you're just modeling and you're trying to really coach the child in what they're supposed to say. Steps to teaching, and we say this over and over and over, but again, I just want you to hear it so often that eventually you just do it. You identify the skill you want to teach. You show, you tell, this is what it looks like, this is what it sounds like, this is why we do it. You create opportunity after opportunity after opportunity so they can practice, so they can really get it down. And when you see them doing it, what do? You praise it. You give them positive verbal feedback on what you saw they did and how that could have made them feel. Oh, you sure you did it all by yourself? I bet you feel so proud. You've got it. Let's put a pom-pom in our pom-pom jar. So one of the activities that you guys can do is just set up your classroom on how you're going to teach some social emotional skills. So this is just an activity skills matrix. If you have certain children that you really need to work on, Amy, Zane, and Tyler, at arrival time, you're going to have Amy check in with her feeling chart. You're going to work with Zane on saying hello to peers. You're going to have Tyler invite peers to play. At circle time, Amy is going to work on identifying emotions in herself. Zane is going to greet peers during the good morning song. Tyler doesn't really have to work on anything at that time. So this is just an example for you guys. If you've got some problem kids in your classroom that you really need to give that individualized attention to, make a little matrix like this. Have your times of the day along one side, kids' name at the top, and be intentional about when you're going to teach and what you're going to teach those kids at this time. So what you guys are going to do right now is I want you to pull out that pulling it all together activity. We're going to do a little problem solving just to let you get some practice with it. It's Module 2, Handout 2.8, Social Emotional Teaching Strategies. Yep, it looks like that. And it also is stapled on the incorrect side. Why did they all staple that way? That's so weird. So as a table, yep, I want you to look at the side where it talks about Jack. Jack keeps getting up and leaving the circle. So as a table, just go through Jack's scenario. Why might he be doing it? It says for the first one, he might be bored. So look at all what you can do and what new skills you want to teach Jack. And then look at the next possibility. No, they don't have that. As a table, we can talk about it together, and we're going to go on to another one. Just read it. Just read it, talk about it. I'm trying to get you the hang of that problem solving. Or do you want to do the first one together? Should we just do that? Okay, let's just do the first one together. So here's the problem. Jack keeps getting up and leaving the circle. Next column, why might Jack be doing this? He might be bored. So if he's bored, what can I do to prevent the behavior? So let's look at what the teacher could do. She could give him a job during circle, because if he's engaged and if he's active, then he's not going to be bored, right? You can find something that he really likes and embed it into circle time, because remember when we said not that store, when we did that activity? If I'm going someplace where it's Baumgars and I can't stand Baumgars because nothing there interests me, I'm gonna be bored. So if we can take whatever Jack's interested in and embed it into circle, he won't be bored. We can make a choice board by who he sits by, or what songs to sing, or what books to read. He can be engaged in that, and then he wouldn't be bored because it's something he's interested in, has some control on. We can make a picture schedule that shows him when his favorite part of circle will happen. And he can start flipping over things to get closer and closer and closer to his favorite part of the circle time. Or we can have an adult sit next to him and encourage him to participate in circle, because you're providing that scaffolding for that little boy named Jack. The skills that we can teach him: how to indicate when he's done with an activity, because he's wanting to get away from something and he's doing it inappropriately. So we can teach him that when you're done, you can say, raise your hand and say, can I leave now? Can I take a break? That's a skill we could teach him. We can also teach him how to attend for longer and longer and longer periods of time. And a lot of teachers do that using the 5-point timer. That's if he's bored, but maybe he doesn't know what to do. So if he doesn't know what to do, I'm going to have somebody else, somebody from this table. Why don't you give us some ideas of what you can do to prevent the behavior for Jack if he doesn't know what to do?
Making a picture schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Before several times, use the picture schedule to explain to him what will happen in the circle.
Yep.
The first few pictures schedule the circle. Have an adult sit by him and talk to him about what is happening. Provide descriptive feedback on the while he is at.
Good job. These are all things we can do to prevent him from getting up and leaving circle. Somebody from that table over there, bar table, what new skills can you teach?
How to ask for help and he doesn't know how to do something.
Great. We can teach him how to ask for help. Just raising your hand, I need help. So what we're going to do next is we're going to divide into groups, and you're going to get about, let's start with 10 minutes. You're going to have a scenario, and then you're going to figure out what can we do to prevent based on what I've learned already, and what new skills are we going to teach. So you guys, do you all want to work together, or do you want to go 4 and 2? Yes. All together? Sure. Okay. So you guys are going to do that. She wants. You guys are going to do. One group, that one over here now. So we over here. 4, 2,
I don't care.
yeah.
You wander around the room, doing centers, without engaging in activity.
Go back to
Okay.
So you people on Zoom, I'm going to have you do. Why don't you guys do She Hits Other Children? And then you will give that back to me, the information back. So you'll be doing why you're trying to figure out the reason or the function, purpose of behavior. What can you do to prevent? And then what new skill do you want to teach?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pause it for about 10 minutes. Okay, can I have everybody's attention? We're going to go ahead and say what your problem was. Everybody's going to share out. So I'm going to start over here. And we're going to say what the problem is, what we think the function or the purpose of the behavior is, what we can do to prevent, and then what strategies we thought that we can teach. So, FAR group table. What was your situation?
He gets really angry when he doesn't get his way and will hit and kick those around him. Why might the child be doing this? He doesn't know how to communicate. What can I do to prevent this behavior? Use a solution kit, use the calm down space, teach friendship skills, use peer strategies and positive reinforcement. What new skills can we teach? Friendship skills and how to deal with emotions.
Okay, so what friendship skills would you teach? All of them? Specific ones?
I don't know, more so when I think when he doesn't get his way, I think a lot along the lines of sharing, you know, taking toys,
Okay.
Things like that. So
Okay.
I think those are important friendship skills.
Nice job, guys. Let's give them a big round of applause. Does anybody else have any ideas that they want to share? All right. Thanks, guys. This table, what was your situation?
He is always taking toys away from other children. So he either wants to play with the children, but doesn't know how to join them, or he just wants to play with the toy. And if he just doesn't know how to join, then we need to teach that tapping, looking at the person and asking them if he can join. And he'll learn how to join a group of friends. But if he's just taking it because he wants the toy, we need to teach problem solving and solutions so he can learn strategies to solve those problems.
Yeah. Nice. And how will you set up your environment to prevent it from happening? Or you already said that, the problem solving, to teach that. Is that what you're saying?
Those cards.
Okay. Nice job. Give them a round of applause. Anybody else have any other ideas to add to it? All right. Next group. What was your situation?
She hits other children.
Okay.
We said she probably doesn't know how to get their attention appropriately.
So what are you going to do about it?
Tap 3 times. Do that until she gets that. And saying their name, the eye contact. Until she gets that. And sit with her the whole time and coach her through all of that. The peer buddy thing, that would be good.
Yeah.
Point to do as well.
And always use your proximity and all that kind of stuff too, that anticipate. If you know she's a hitter, you want to make sure that you anticipate that, you're close to her. Yeah, all that stuff. Good job. Big hand. One more.
Okay, the behavior is she wanders around the room during centers without engaging in an activity for any length of time. Why might the child be doing this? We put she's not sure what she wants to do. What can I do to prevent this behavior? Sit with her, ask her what she wants to do, or use a timer as a visual to show her this is the amount of time you need to stay in this area. When it's done, you can go somewhere else. What new skills we can teach, show her how to play, friendship skills, learning how to play and engage.
Nice job. Big round of applause for them. So this only took you guys maybe 5 minutes and you were all done, right? When you have to, oh. So Zoom people, I think I recorded the wrong thing. So what you guys have to do in that social emotional piece, that 2, where it has the different problems of children, she hits other children and those. So what I want you guys to do is where it says she hits other children, try to figure out what the function of the behavior is. And then I want you to figure out the strategies, what you can do to prevent it from happening, and then what skills you're going to teach. I think everybody else just shared out theirs, and I had it on pause instead of play, so I apologize for that. I think that was 2.8 in case you're looking for it. Now you should be finished with that other one. So now I definitely want you to work on your inventory of practices plan. And so you'll be doing section 3, that teaching social emotional strategies. You'll do, I think it's pages 8 through 12 first?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is 20 something. I had it on pause on the wrong time and record at the wrong time, so.
I think it's either 20 or 21.
Okay. It's that next, so after you do the inventory of practices and check your skills, then you're going to be developing your action plan for teaching social emotional skills. And I think that starts on 21. 21, okay. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and regroup. Get ready to do our final stuff here. So like I said, if you didn't finish your action plan, this is what you can work on as a team to figure out, okay, this is what we really want to do in our program. And once you do one thing and get one thing fixed and put in place, don't stop there. Keep going and keep going until you have everything in place that you need for PBIS. So I want you guys just to kind of take a few moments to think back to all 5 sessions of all the things we've discussed. I want you to think about establishing relationships, reframing your thoughts, your negative thought patterns into positive ones, and then maybe reframing why behaviors occur and not thinking badly about a child, but thinking, if this is a problem or something that the child is having trouble learning, how can I help with that? Stating directions using positive language, having expectations and rules and teaching those expectations and rules, creating supportive environments, teaching children friendship skills, teaching that emotional literacy, what to do when they're angry, how do I calm down, how do I solve social problems. And I also want you to think about using your action plans. All of these things are going to help you when it comes to social emotional teaching and embedding these skills with your kids. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You've completed modules 1 and 2. Now it's time to be really proud of yourselves. We're going to do a little Kahoot. So find your team. Find your team. A little team, like 3 or 4 people. Get on your phones. Go to Kahoot it. We're going to go into team mode. What's that? Kahoot it, and this is your game pin. People on Zoom, you're not going to be able to do it because it's not live for you, so you just get to watch. And also I want you guys to know, because I'm playing from the computer, because the computer, this is delayed in comparison to my computer, so when it goes like down to 0, it's going to be 0 here and ding before it gets to 0 there. So just know that there's going to be like a 3-second delay. So remember how we play Kahoot. There will be some questions. There'll be some questions you discuss, so you have some discussion time. And then when it starts counting down, that's when you can start trying to punch in your answer. And the faster you get the correct answer, the more points you get. But if you get an incorrect answer, it won't let you go back and change it. So just letting you know. That was kind of loud. Okay, do you guys have your team? You're up? You're up? Are you guys up? Okay, you're up? Are you guys all one team? One, two, 3, 4. How come only? Oh, there's 17. Okay, sorry. So now we're on. Whatever you want to be.
Will that show up there?
Mm-hmm. So we've got Marcus Angels, Marla's Angels, BB Sharks, BB Oldies, 18, Sister Squad, 16s now. We all on? Okay, we're gonna start, guys. 17 questions. Oh. Whoops. Woo! To build a positive environment, positive and supportive environment, you need to build positive relationships with children, staff, and parents. Good job. Everybody got that one right. Next one. Oh, A team. You're in first place with that many points. Instead of thinking that a child is just naughty, I can reframe my thinking to wow, you guys are nailing it. Yes. This child is just testing me. I have new skills. You're reframing. Nice job. The teacher Sharks are in first place with 2,000, followed by BB Sharks and Sister Squad and BB Oldies and the A team. All right. Children use challenging behavior. Yes. To get or get away from something or someone because they haven't been taught otherwise and because it works. All of those are correct. Good job, guys. Teacher Sharks are in first place, followed by BB Sharks, Sister Squad, Oldies, and the A team. Question number 4. High quality supportive environments. Wow, you guys are good. They ensure that children are engaged and they are predictable. Very good. Wow. If you see the fire by people, that means that actually everyone's hitting the answer streak. They have 4 answers right altogether. All right, routines, schedules, and transitions.
Oh my God. Yeah, I did. She pushed the wrong one. We knew it. We knew that one.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's
Yes. the diamond because all children need to be taught, practiced, and promoted because it brings down that anxiety. All right, everybody, well, not everybody, 5 teams. 5 teams are on a hot answer streak. When giving directions, question number 6.
Yeah, that's what ours was doing too.
Yes, you definitely want to get their attention, minimize the steps, and be very clear. Expectations are the broad qualities that we want to instill in our children. Yes. Wow. You guys are going to have to get faster to get them teacher sharks. The best single childhood predictor of adult adaptation is this one was kind of a tricky one. It could have almost been
Maddie, are you teaching tricks?
it's actually the circle, the adequacy with which the child gets along with other children. It's not just classroom behavior. It's not just school grades. And it's obviously not having the most toys. The circle one is the one. Key social skills children need to learn are it's the friendship skills, anger management, and problem solving. Those are the key social skills. All right, here we go. Question 10. Children with a strong emotional literacy foundation, 10-2. Absolutely. All of the above. Okay, best time to teach social skills is
That's how ours, yeah.
the best time is before a crisis happens. Then the second 2 best times are when after they calm down, and then like just in your everyday teaching. Question 12. Stage of learning that a new skill can be easily lost. It's that acquisition stage. That very first stage is when it can most quickly be lost, when they're first learning it. So we have to keep, that's why we have to keep practicing and practicing. Second place is a close one. Question 13. Before children can learn to problem solve social situations, we learned this tonight. Woo! You guys are awesome. They must learn to control their anger and impulses. Wow. Second place is tight, and third place, or fifth place, whichever. It's okay. Is it okay? It is okay to express anger. True or false? That is true. We definitely want them to express anger. We can teach children to relax by
Oh my God. It won't.
that is so sad. All right. Question 16. We can encourage children to problem solve by. Are you guys seriously?
Yeah.
It's scoring you though. Maybe not now. We can encourage children to solve problems by intentionally creating problems in our classroom.
Why would we intentionally cause problems then? To give them the opportunity to solve it.
That was one of the things. Remember how we said problematize everything? We set up problems so they can solve easy, those simple problems. Here's the last one. Teacher sharks are on fire with 16 in a row. After this course, I feel sweet. All right, here's your winners. Teacher Sharks got first place, followed by the A team, followed by BB Oldies. All right, guys, we are not totally done yet. Not totally done. Don't get too excited. Two things I need to tell you. Number one, we have to draw to see who gets the prizes because I forgot last week. So when I draw your name, come get your prize. Then when you're totally finished, pick up your certificate and only your certificate. Don't pick up other people's if they're not here tonight, because if they're not here, they don't get credit for being here tonight. They'll have to do the Zoom or something else like that. All right, Tiffany Gagnon, please come get a prize. Nikki Junk is not here. Alexis Wolf, come get your prize. Lori Rothler, come get your prize. Taylor Jasa, did I say that right? Rachel Clark. Anna Graves. Peyton Green. Yes. Jasmine Wood. Esperanza Reales. Maria Mendoza. And the last one of the evening is Shay Harper. Thanks for being a part of the class. Oh yeah, you guys will get an email evaluation request. Bye. Thank you.
Yay.